Hey everyone, welcome back to my kitchen. I'm Bethany, and today's recipe, I'm gonna share with you a cookie recipe that my family makes every holiday season, which is my dried cherry and dark chocolate biscottis. This is a twice baked cookie, so it's extra crisp and crunchy, but it's perfect for dunking into espresso, coffee, or tea. My family loves this recipe, so let's get right into it. All right, so we first wanna get our batter going for the biscottis. I have 6 tablespoons of melted salted butter, or unsalted butter, but I just keep the salted on hand because that's what I cook with. And the butter is cooled, not hot, because we don't want it to mess with our eggs. And we have 2 room temperature eggs, 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract, then 2/3 cup white sugar. Now we're gonna just mix that together. I grew up with my parents eating so many biscottis. It's like a huge childhood memory of mine is the boxed biscottis, but they were all individually wrapped. And it really wasn't until I had a homemade biscotti that I really started to like them. So if you've never liked the store-bought biscottis, then I highly recommend you try making your own because it really is a lot better. All right, and then we're gonna fold in our dried cherries. So we have 1 cup, and we're just gonna mix this in with the wet ingredients. All right, next we're gonna add our dry ingredients. So we're gonna do 2 cups of all-purpose flour. Then 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And then 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. And now we're gonna just mix that together. In with our wet ingredients and dried cherries. All right, next we're gonna line a cookie sheet with a sheet of parchment paper. Then we're gonna divide the dough into 2. And what we're gonna do is on the cookie sheet, we're gonna form these into like a little log shape. So the reason that a biscotti is called a biscotti is it means it's twice baked. And this cookie is baked twice in the oven. So we first have to form it into kind of a log shape, and then you slice it into the biscotti shape. So then you bake it again. So it's twice baked, which is why it is so crunchy and crisp. So we first have to form this into little logs, just kind of forming it with our hands. Next, we're gonna whisk together 1 egg and a tablespoon of milk. And we're gonna brush this over top of the biscotti so it gets a nice golden color in the oven. And we're just gonna brush just a little bit of this over top. I know it probably feels like a waste with like 1 egg and milk, but you could always save this, use it in a dish, make some French toast, or you don't have to do this step. But like I said, it adds a nice little golden sheen to the top of the biscuit. So now for the first batch of baking in our twice baked biscottis, these logs are gonna be baked at 350 for just 25 minutes. They'll be golden on top and you'll see them spread out a little bit. All right, these just came out of the oven. They smell amazing, they look great. Now we need to let these cool just for about 10 minutes because we have to slice into them. They're very hot, and if you slice into them too early to make the biscotti shapes, they'll actually fall apart, so we really do need them to cool. So we'll be back to slice these in just a few minutes. All right, so you can cut a biscotti a few different ways. So you can cut it straight across like that. It's gonna give you some smaller biscottis, but the way that they're traditionally cut is kind of on a diagonal, and that's the way that we like to do it. So you're first gonna take off your end piece if you're cutting it either way, and you don't wanna press down on the biscuit or the cookie, and you wanna use a serrated bread knife because that's gonna be way easier to slice these rather than a chef knife. And just gently sliding it back and forth. And you wanna be pretty gentle with them because they are pretty delicate because we have to bake them again to get really crispy. So we'll put those that we've sliced back onto our pan. And we're slicing these into about 1/2 inch in thickness. You don't wanna do anything more than 3/4 of an inch to an inch because then they're gonna be really hard because they get really crispy in the oven. You don't wanna be chipping a tooth on these. All right, and we have kind of these little end pieces. Shame, I wonder who will eat those. We can just save those for snacking while these bake in the oven. So now we're gonna lower our oven from 350 to 325, and we're gonna bake these in the oven again for our last bake for 25 minutes. All right, so we've melted our chocolate and our biscottis are done. So what I did was I took the biscottis off of the baking sheet that they were on, replaced it with a new parchment paper sheet, and that's so that once we've coated these in dark chocolate, we can lay them on a clean sheet that doesn't have crumbs and everything will stick onto that. So now we can just take our biscottis and you can dip these multiple different ways. I just have this in a pan and I melted the chocolate in a double boiler. We don't have a microwave, so that's the way I do it. And what I like to do is I like to dip the bottom, regardless of however I do it, I like to dip the bottom of the biscotti in the chocolate so that the chocolate's in every bite. So we're gonna dip it in there. Then lay it on my parchment paper sheet. And what you can do after that is drizzle just a little bit of chocolate over top of the biscotti for a little bit more chocolate. Now we're gonna chill these in the fridge for the chocolate to set for about 20 minutes.
Well, good afternoon, Beth.
Hi,
Thanks
Dad.
for inviting me over for
You're welcome.
biscotti, which I love.
Yes, I know you love these. You do know, you remember how Mom has to hide these when
Yes.
you make them for Christmas?
She actually got me a box of them from Costco's, but these look better.
Yeah, right. I know, every Christmas Mom has to hide the ones that she makes for the guests from Dad or he will
Well, they're good.
find them. So you can taste one. I'll grab a nice looking one.
That's a handsome looking biscotti.
Yes. And there's some coffee for you.
Excellent. Now I'm gonna dunk it.
That's the way to do it. That's why they're crispy. The chocolate kind of melts when you dip it.
Chocolate's great. It's the best, Beth.
Good.
Another home run.
Good, I'm glad. Do you like these better than the store-bought
Oh,
biscottis?
of course. I mean, the taste is completely different.
Yeah,
And different in a good way, not different in a bad way.
yeah.
But thank you. Thanks for inviting me over.
Okay.
And I'm going to have this, so I'll just exit and eat this.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dad. Bye. So, anyway, I'm gonna try these as well. Crisp and crunchy, but you get that bite of dried cherry, which is nice and chewy. Chocolate and cherry is just the perfect pair, especially in a biscotti. I know a lot of people like to use cranberry. I like dried cherry, so this is perfect. And don't forget, you can dip it into espresso, coffee, or tea. That really softens it up. That's why these are so crisp, is that it's meant to be dipped into a hot beverage to kind of soften it up and make it a little bit more less crispy and crunchy. All right, that's everything for today. Hope you guys get to try these biscottis. Like I said, my family makes these every holiday season. We're always gifting them to family and friends, and so many of our family and friends request them year after year. That's how much they love them. If you try them, feel free to leave a comment here on this video, or you can leave a review on our website. And as always, we'll catch you in the next recipe, and I'll see you in the comments.